Greetings, everyone. This is Payman Lorenzo, your host of the Leaders Without podcast. Today, I have another special treat for you guys. My new good friend, Kishna from Philadelphia. She's got a beautiful story and an even better mission. She's a blogger, a podcaster, a coach, owner of Balancing Life and Kids. Her mission is to help parents, couples, and singles push through their trauma, build up their self worth and value, and empower them to move forward into a better life. So we're going to be talking about all of that. But first of all, Kishna, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
It's my pleasure. So for people who don't know you, who is Krishna?
Kishna, above all else, is a mom of two little rugrats running around, and a serial entrepreneur. I have a crazy habit of starting a new business whenever I get a new idea. Um, so,
Awesome.
yeah, mom and a businesswoman.
That's amazing. But before we talk about all of that, let's ask some fun question. First of all,
Sure.
Kishna, what makes you happy?
Food.
That's the best answer. What kind of food?
I don't have a favorite. I like trying new food. I just like good food.
Do you enjoy more of the eating or the cooking or both?
Um, I enjoy the eating just a little bit more than I enjoy the cooking.
I agree with you. I'm on the same page. What makes you smile?
My kids.
That's a great reason. Yes, for sure. Especially when they're very young, under the age of 4. That's when they're the sweetest and also the most
Hmm.
naughtiest too.
Hmm.
So it's a balancing act. I'm sure you've mastered that by now.
Well, I would like to say I have, but the reality is there's no mastering when it comes to parenting. So
I
I'm
know
doing my best.
exactly. Um, it's a lifelong journey. What makes
Mhm.
you sad and angry?
People who take advantage of others.
Mm, yes, for sure. Especially people that take advantage of you being too nice and too open. That happens a lot.
Hmm.
What scares you?
Not living up to my best potential before I could die.
Mm. What's your ultimate goal?
To be able to leave a legacy for as many generations as I can think of.
Mm, beautiful. All right. Let me ask you now some more fun questions. When we're kids growing up, people ask us all the time. So, Krishna, what do you want to become when you grow up? When you were a kid, what was your answer back then? When, let's say, your parents, your teachers, or your relatives were asking you, what was your answer back then?
I wanted to be a teacher.
Nice.
Yeah.
What did you want to teach?
I don't think I had a specific subject. I just knew I wanted to work with kids. So I
Oh, wow.
wanted to be a teacher. And then as I got a little bit older, I wanted to be like a child psychologist. But it was
Mm,
always something revolving around kids.
awesome. What was your favorite subject in school?
That's a good one. It was either math or English,
Nice. And what was your least favorite subject?
science.
Which one in
Hate
particular?
science. Any science. The only thing I was good at in science was lab. If you put me in a lab and gave me some stuff to mix up, I passed lab. But listen, biochemistry, I hate science. I hate it.
How about dissecting frogs? Did you enjoy that?
I was good at that. That was lab. I was good at that.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right. So, um, looking back at your life from when you were in school to now, how did you get on your path? Was it a straight sailing? Once you got into one direction, you kept on that same path, or did you have to change along the way at multiple times?
Oh no, I had to change along the way multiple times. My ship sank a couple times. I had to
Mm,
build it back up. I had to like go and it was kind of tumultuous before I got to where I am now.
mm. What was the main lesson you learned when your ship sank?
I think the biggest lesson that I learned was to put myself first.
Mm,
Put myself first and not allow other people to define who I am.
yes, agreed, agreed. Because once we able to get to help ourselves and become the best we can do, then we can have a much bigger impact and help others around us. Just like on a
Mm-hmm.
plane, they tell you first to put your mask first before even putting the mask on your kid. That makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. Mhm. Now, I'm sure you heard the saying, "Change your story, change your life." We all have had to change our stories at one time or another to get closer to our goals and dreams. And when you had to do that, how did you do it? Did you follow a specific principle or system, or you just how did you do it?
Me changing my story was me putting myself first. So I was a people pleaser growing up. And
Mm-hmm.
me being a people pleaser landed me with someone who was a manipulator and a narcissist. And that was when my shit sank.
Mm-hmm.
I went through a lot with him. I'm I went through a lot with him. And coming out of that, I had to realize that I kept putting everybody first and I forgot completely about myself. So putting myself first, and that doesn't mean not caring about other people, but that means making sure that I'm okay first before I can care about other people, really turn my life around. And it allowed me to do everything I needed to do and not have to feel like I'm pleasing everybody else before I get what I need.
Absolutely, yes, makes sense. Um, what's your business? Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Oh Lord, I have so many. Let's talk about the blogging and the podcasting.
All right.
So, um, like I said, I was in an abusive relationship. When I left the abusive relationship, before I knew the relationship was abusive, I needed a way to release all of my stuff. So I
Mm-hmm.
created a blog. And it's funny
Mm.
when I tell people the story, I laugh at myself because when I started the blog, it wasn't with the intent of other people reading it. I just needed a way to get stuff off of my chest.
Mm-hmm.
So I would write and I would post. For me, the posting was just to save what I wrote so that I always knew where I could find it. But other people started to read it. So it went from me posting for myself to people replying to the posting that I was putting to it becoming this huge thing. Fast forward, I learned that I was in an abusive relationship. I learned that I had a lot of trauma that I needed to work through. I learned that my trauma was affecting my relationship with my kids. And I did all of this work. And the blogging turned into a podcasting. A podcast turned into me becoming a life coach. Me becoming a life coach turned to me helping more people than I thought that I could. So it was like this one simple thing of me writing my feelings turned into me finding my calling.
Awesome. And when you said you had to overcome all these challenges, did you do it with the help of a friend, a mentor, or you had to just look deep inside of yourself to dig yourself out of that?
So I tried therapy. I tried counseling. I tried domestic abuse counseling, and they just did not work for me.
Mm,
Um, so I had to dig deep within myself. And I'm a believer in God. I had to ask God to give me a lot of answers for me to be able to heal from all of the things that I went through. So,
mhm. I see. And now, regarding your business, you mentioned that from your bio that you help parents, couples, and singles push through their trauma, build up their self worth and value. Tell us a bit more about that. What's your process? For example, let's say someone, a parent, or someone is struggling now and is listening or watching this. How would they benefit from it, and if they want to join, how what's the process?
okay. So, how would they benefit from it? I work with individuals either one on one or in a group setting to really dig deep and find out what the problem is. So, I just had a session yesterday with someone and she thought her issue was one thing. And as I'm listening to her talk to me and tell me what's going on and tell me how she feels and everything, I'm starting to pull things from her. So I asked her one question and she was like, oh my God, I never even realized this. So for her, the issue in her mind, the issue was this over here. But with
Mm-hmm.
me talking to her and coaching her and asking her questions, we realized that the issue was this thing over here. And this thing over here was what really was affecting this thing over here, but she wasn't looking at the other side. So as a coach, that's what I do. Like sometimes we think our issue or our problem is one thing, and we're so focused on this one thing that we completely overlook a whole bunch of other things. It's my job to figure out if it really is this one thing or if it's something else that's affecting this one thing, and to figure out how we can fix it so that everything can start working like a clock and go around and around. And to reach out to me, anyone can contact me through Instagram. It's Kishna J _ on Facebook at Balance in Life and Kids, or they can just go to the website balanceinlifeandkids.com and schedule an appointment to talk to me.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Um, you just meant, okay, tell us about an example of the most inspiring, the most remarkable transformation you've seen from one of your clients so far.
I had a young lady start working with me a couple of months ago, and she also was in an abusive relationship that she left. But as a result of the relationship, they had a child together. So her ex was using the child to manipulate her,
Oh
and
no.
she could not let go of that. Like she could not move forward. So we worked together. It's going on 3 months now, and to really dig deep and to figure out what the issue is, why she could not let go of what he was doing. And when she came to me, she was, I don't want to say broken, but she was so consumed with her emotions of what was going on. And now I had a session with her 2 weeks ago, and she said, he did X, Y, and Z to me, and I didn't even have a reaction. Like I said, okay. And I just kept moving. And she was like, I've never been able to do that in the 4 years that I've known him.
Wow. And how do you feel when you're seeing someone coming, as you said, completely broken, whatever, and going through the process with you and ending, I mean, getting out a different person? How does that make you feel when you see the transformation unfolding in front of your eyes? The positive transformation.
It makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing. Like I'm on the right path. I'm doing the right thing, because living with fear and trauma is so suffocating
Hmm.
that it makes you feel like you can't breathe. And that's why my mission is to help people learn how to breathe again. Once you learn how to breathe again, it's like a child. Once that child takes that first breath, it's like their life starts all over again. Once you learn how to breathe again, it's like your life starts all over again. And for me, that's like I'm doing the right thing. Like I'm on the right path.
Yes, that's for sure. What's the so you said, what's the structure of your program? You said you have one-on-one and group help.
Yeah, so I do one-on-one coaching, I do group coaching, and I have a couple of self-paced courses and books that are on my website that people who are not ready to work with me yet can do on their own.
Okay. And what's the duration of your program? Is it like a 30 days, 3 months, 1 year, or
So
indefinitely?
I find that the most effective time frame is 3 months.
3 months. Okay. So after how long do you start seeing the first tangible results with someone within those 3 months? Is that after the first month, after the second month, or after they completed the whole thing?
To be honest with you, and I'm not saying this to like toot my own horn, but
Mhm.
in my experience, after the first conversation, we start to see a result.
Oh, wow. Because, just you mentioned the example of the person that thought the problem was here, but while the real problem was there, is because we need an unbiased set of second eyes to really take a closer look at things. Hey, this is not the real thing. This is the
Mm-hmm,
real thing that you need to address, and that's
mm-hmm,
what can be the real, because we all need unbiased set of eyes to look at things from a fresh perspective. Yes, I agree
mm-hmm.
with that. Now, the theme of this podcast is leaders with a heart. That is, people that are building impactful businesses, giving back to the community. Like for me, for example, I'm an e-commerce guy. I'm launching my new line of products in the next few weeks on Kickstarter, a crowdfunding platform. And for each unit I sell, I will be donating a pair of eyeglasses to people in need who cannot afford them. What would you say? What cause is most passionate to you and to your heart?
Domestic abuse.
Mm-hmm.
So because I understand that my main demographic might not be able to afford my services, I
Mm-hmm.
structured my business as a nonprofit organization
Oh
so
wow,
that I would be able to work with domestic abuse centers, homeless shelters, churches, and other nonprofit organizations to be able to provide coaching for them for free and just apply for grants to be able to cover the cost of the programming.
that's
So
amazing.
that's one of the ways that I chose to give back.
That's amazing. Hmm. And do you when you help someone overcoming their issues, do you see them? Have you noticed a pattern of them going on and paying it forward and helping someone else themselves?
Yes, yes,
That,
always. Because we're so used to people
mhm.
taking advantage of us. When we meet that one person that genuinely cares and wants to give back to us, it makes us want to do that for others as well.
That's amazing. Wow. Okay. Fantastic. Just like I told you in the beginning before we went live, I told you, not any single individual can change the world by themselves. But if me and you, we inspire just one person to help another, and so on and so forth, before long we can create an unstoppable global movement around the world. Just like, and also because, in mathematics, 1 plus 1 might be equal 2, but in real life, when two people put their energies together, it's not 2, it's 11, because it expands exponentially. Just the reach is far more than just two people. So I
Mm-hmm.
love that. I love that. Let me ask you now some fun question. So you said you do have your podcast, which is awesome. What's the name of your podcast?
Balancing life and kids.
All right, I'll put that in show. Now imagine that today you have the most amazing, the most precious guest of all time, which is yourself. What would be the first question you want to ask yourself? And I don't want you to think too much. I want you to tell us the first question that comes to your mind.
What's your favorite food?
And what's your answer?
Right now, it's tacos.
Oh wow.
I'm in love with a good taco right now.
Oh yes. I see, I agree. Same here. Now imagine that. Wait 1 sec. Okay. Imagine now that you have a time machine and you can go back in time and meet your 18-year-old self. What would be the first piece of advice you'd give to your 18-year-old self, knowing all that you know now?
Manage your money better.
Yes, that's one thing that I wish we were taught in schools, because as soon as you get into a college, they just hand out credit card like they were candies without telling you, hey, this is like a loaded gun. You can use it for good. You
Mm-hmm.
can use it to make pretty bad damage too. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, there's a lot that needs to be changed with the education system. So don't get me started on that. Oh yeah. Now let's say that you were to God were to tell you, okay, Krishna, you've been an amazing human being so far, and I want to reward you. I want to grant you one superpower for the rest of your life. Which one would it be?
A superpower?
It can be flying. It can be breathing underwater. It can be teleporting, being telepathic, uh, reading people's thoughts, anything you can
I think
imagine.
I think it would be the power to influence people.
Mm, that's a good one. Good. And now imagine that if you could, again, using the time machine, you could go into any period in time, whether in the past or in the future. Where would you, to which time period would you go and why?
I would go forward
Mhm.
maybe 30 years
Mhm.
to see if the foundation that I have been working on to create has been laid and been successful, so that I know if I need to change anything, if I need to keep on the same path, whatever.
Awesome. And if you could ask God one question, what would it be?
What else do I need to do?
Beautiful. And that makes me remind me of one thing. I read a quote a while ago that stuck with me. It says, the two most important dates in our lives are, first, when we were born, and second, when we find out why we are here. And when we do find out why we are here, we become a different person.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say is your purpose, your mission in this lifetime on this planet?
So I realize I'm a healer.
Mm.
So I feel like my purpose and my mission is to help heal as many people as possible.
How did you notice that? Was that a single event, or was it progressive through your life, or?
It was progressive. So
Mhm.
it started with the blog. It started with me receiving comments like, this has helped me so much, or I'm going through a similar situation and reading your stuff has helped me. And then with the podcast, it was the same. Like, oh my gosh, this has helped me so much. Hearing you talk about your story resonates with me because I'm going through a similar situation. And then once I made the decision to become a coach, it was like I didn't need any training. I made the decision to become a coach. I got my first client, and it was like immediate transformation. And it took me a while to realize that this was my calling. But now that I'm sitting in this comfortably, I'm like, this was what I was supposed to do.
That's amazing. And do you have any parting tips for anyone listening to this and struggling with whatever, issue they have right now?
So we are taught, well, in Black culture and Caribbean culture, especially in Caribbean culture, we're taught that we're not allowed to ask for help. If there's something
Wow.
going on, you keep it in a house. You don't talk about it much. You just kind of deal with it and keep going. And that is the most unproductive, traumatic thing that you can do to yourself, because all that's going to happen over time is you're going to keep holding more and more stuff in, and eventually you're going to blow up, and it's not progressive at all. Um, Seek help. It doesn't
Yes,
matter who you seek help from, seek help, because two heads are better than one, and 10 heads
absolutely.
are way better than two.
Absolutely, yes. And I noticed that in other areas, in other cultures as well. Yes, that for sure. Because of pride, or because of whatever, they don't want others to know what's going on, and that's very unproductive. Yes, for sure. And you mentioned that you have a website which is balancing. What was it?
Life and kids.
Like.com. Is
Mm-hmm.
there any other ways that people can reach out to you?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram, Kishna J underscore. I'm on Twitter, Kishna J underscore.
Okay.
I'm on Facebook, Balancing Life and Kids, and you can go to the website at balancinglifeandkids.com.
And what did you say was the name of your podcast?
Balancing Life and Kids.
Wow. Okay. Cool. Awesome. How much of talkings are going to be about food and tackle on your blog and podcast?
I do some food posting because I love to cook. Cooking is like one of my favorite things to do. So I do tend to put some food stuff in there. So you will every once in a while find something related to food.
What's your special dish, a special secret? What's a dish that anyone that wants it? Oh, we gotta go to Kishna for that dish.
Okay, so it's more than two things, but it's two specific things that people are always asking for. So one is chili. I make a 3 meat
Mm,
chili. I
wow.
do ground turkey, spicy sausage, and shrimp chili. And and I make it in the winter. When I make it, I literally have like people knocking on my door with bowls coming over so they can eat. The other thing in my culture, it's Haitian mac and cheese. It's called macaroni au gratin. So it's macaroni with lunch meat, onions, peppers, seasoning, mayonnaise, and we bake it just like mac and cheese, and we put cheese in it and on top of it, and it's so good.
Yes, but that chili looks so amazing. Do you do international delivery for that?
If it's not too far, I can consider it.
Well, I'm next door. I'm in Toronto, you know?
You know, I can freeze it and fly it over.
Or next time I'm in the Philly area, I'll just ring you.
Yeah, come on up.
All right, sounds good. Well, Keisha, listen, it's been an absolute honor having you. You're a true leader with a heart. I salute you. And yeah, it was awesome having you to share your story. I can see the passion and all that in you and how you want to really help and make a difference. So keep doing that. Keep spreading your light. Keep helping people and stay safe. God bless, my friend, and have a great day. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you very
Welcome.
much.
Take care. Bye bye.